Welcome to Lesson 5. Last lesson we had put in some of the different dissolves and the different transitions that you could use on your film. You'll notice that when I deleted the first one here, I deleted the entire scene. Whereas when I came over here, I made sure that I just deleted the transition. Again, the way you can do that is I'm going to hit Control Z. Control Z is a hotkey that lets you undo the last thing you did. So when I hit Control Z, this one should come back. If I hit Control Z again, this should come back. Control Z and Z. And you see how they came back, correct? Now, to make sure that you're just deleting the part, you click there. See how it changed colors? Now I know when I delete it, I'm just going to be deleting the transition, not the clip. If I click down here, you see that I've selected the entire clip, and I'll delete the clip, okay? At this point, I do want to delete one of the clips. So wherever you made some cuts with your razor, click on the actual film and hit delete so that you have a gap like this. Now, in the timeline, if I was going through this whole section right here would just be black. I don't want that to be black. I want this section right here to move up and be flush is the word, flush with this section. Now, I could use my selection tool and grab this section and pull it over. Then I could grab this section and pull it over. But what you want to do, and I'm going to hit Control Z so it goes back the way it was. What you want to do is in this section right here, it's called a ripple. And so when you right click with your select button in this area, it's going to say ripple delete. So you can click this and it's going to pull everything in. Okay? If you have several ripples and you select everything, like watch this, I've selected all 4 of my pieces that I have. If I had sections where we had openings in there, if I right clicked at that point, I could delete all of my ripples. Okay, so that's another thing that you need to know. That's called ripple delete. Also, if I wanted to put some another piece in right here in between this, I could select this area and pull it over like this, and now I can put something else in here. Okay. Also, when we're working on this, if you'll look down over here, there are other types of effects that you could put in. Now, so go to the beginning of your film here, the first section that you have. Come up here to video effects. The video effects up here show you that there is lots of different things that you could do, right? So like let's go to one that like stylize. If I pulled embossed over onto this part of the film, you're going to see, look at what happens. So you could change that whole portion of the film to embossed. Or maybe for your credits at the end, you might want to say starring Abby Atkinson. Well, then maybe in just that part, you could have it where it was embossed. Now I'm going to hit Control Z again to back out of one space, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to try some others like brush stroke, and you can see that it does a little bit of brush stroking to her. Well, what if I like this, but I would like it to be a little less or a little more brush stroke? That's where your effects control comes into play. So you would click over here on effects control, and now you can see that I have this video effect on here, which is the brush control. So the brush stroke right here shows you what's going on. So remember how I talked about scrubbing? You can also scrub on numbers. You see when I go over this, I have arrows pointing both ways. If I hold my left key down and do this, see how it gets more and more? See how it's changing? And if I scrub the other way, it gets less and less, right? You can also change the brush size. So right now it's at 2. Watch what happens when I make it a bigger brush size. or a smaller brush size. It totally goes away. So this gives you a lot of control. Also, right now, the stroke length is at 5. Well, I can pull it over and it changes the stroke length. Look at what's happening. So you see how even as it has the one small thing that you could do, it can also, within that, be even more dynamic where you make it just about what you wanted to do, right? So at this point, see, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Lots of fun. So what I want to do right now, though, is Control Z and get out of this back. But now you'll notice if I Control Z, it's just undoing the one little things that I do. But I really just want to get rid of the whole effect. So what I can do is right click on my clip, and you can come up here and look at where it says Remove Effect. So instead of having to Control Z and get rid of everything that I've done one step at a time, and it'll only go back 20 times, you would click up here and say Remove Effect. And if I say that, it's going to say, do you want to get rid of all these effects you've put on here? And you can decide just to get rid of motion, opacity, volume, or you can decide to get rid of everything. So if you hit OK, notice it gets rid of the entire effects. So what I would like for you to do right now for a little while is using the different clips, go over here and play with the different things that you can do. Look, you can do more simple ones, which would blur it or not blur it. You can change your color correctness. Like, say that you like this scene that you've created, but you feel like that it's a little too dark or a little too light. Well, you can work with your colors here. You could do a tint on top of it and make it orange or red or purple. You can distort it. So you could say, I want to magnify this, pull it over, see? And you could change how big your magnifying glass is and stuff like that. So I'm going to Control Z to get rid of that. Now, I could spherize and see what happens. Nothing happens at first. You have to kind of come over here and piddle with it to make it actually change what you're going to do, right? So I'm going to Control Z and get rid of this. Mirror effect flips it. And then again, you can change your reflection angle, see? Really cool. You can also, which we could get more into, start at one point of the clip as one thing. Like here, start this way. And then you could come down here and have it like reflecting even more. So now when you play it, what it should... No. You have to put the key effects on it to do that. So just play with the stuff that you have so far. I'm going to Control Z to get rid of that completely. So play with what you have for a little bit. You can just go crazy on all of these. Remember, everything you do, you just have to hit Control Z to get rid of. And if you want to get rid of the entire effects, you just right click and say Remove Effects. And then you remove all the effects from whatever you were working on. Enjoy.